How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. I'm here with my fiance, Thermite Giddy.
That's me.
We are watching Loki. This
Mhm,
is, as always, a Black Lives Matter, all
mhm,
cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're
mhm,
not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel.
mhm,
As always, as well, I am still dealing with a lot of chronic face pain,
mhm,
medical issues stuff going on. So if I'm making weird, doing weird ticks with my mouth, that's why. I apologize. Or if I'm
mhm,
just like talking a little bit slurred. Um, but yeah, so this is Loki
mhm.
season 1, episode 1. I don't even know what the name of this episode is. Uh, we'll do that afterwards, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, because I doubt any MCU show is going to do it, but I always appreciate if a show puts their titles in the actual episode and we see it that way.
Mhm.
Uh, but either way, where do we think this is going to be? Like, what is the show going to be about? Do you
Yeah.
want to take your guess first?
Uh, my guess is, we both had a pretty good guess near the end of
Yeah,
Endgame. So it was, of course, that the Loki that gets the Tesseract uh,
in Endgame.
in Endgame and just kind of zoops off. We don't see him again. Is going to be the Loki that we follow.
Right. Like, that's definitely for sure what it's gonna be. Like, I can't imagine it's gonna be like a prequel or something. But what does that mean? Like, okay, so we're gonna follow that Loki, but like, what is your guess as to what the show's gonna be about?
Huh. Oh boy.
Like, if you were Loki, where
Yeah.
would you go? Like, would you take the Tesseract to Thanos and like, the
Hmm.
whole thing was he was trying to get the Tesseract for
Yeah.
Thanos, but then he was also trying to like take over Earth. But like obviously that wasn't panning out. But maybe he could still
Hmm.
give it to Thanos and do something else or try again later.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go to Thanos because, like, he still lost one stone, so it would be a stone for a
Good point.
stone,
Yeah.
kind of. But also, they were already using the Tesseract, so like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a bonus. It feels like he'd get his ass beat. So like, I feel
That's a good
like,
point. You're right.
yeah, I feel like, oh boy,
Would you go to Asgard? I feel
maybe,
like Thor would easily find you there.
yeah, because also Odin's still around. He could just beat his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of have to put aside everything we've seen of Loki, like almost everything we have seen of Loki as a character, because this is branching off of, Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point,
Yeah.
hmm, I could see it being a big, like, he uses his Loki holes to, just kind of like jump around the universe. Like, I could see it being more of a, like, being on the run thing.
Okay. Like just visiting a bunch of different places.
Yeah, like, maybe checking out some of the other nine realms that we haven't really seen anything from, or like,
Mm-hmm.
even doing alien planets. Because I imagine, like, Loki's probably, I imagine the series is gonna do a lot of, like, he has a lot of misadventures, and he's a bit of a, like, rogue across the galaxy. Like, Thor hasn't really done anything. Thor, he's a boring guy. But Loki, I imagine, like, has a reputation. He's been doing stuff. He's got tons of other enemies. Like, we might even see how in the hell he met Thanos.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, we don't really know how he met him. Like, he just fell
Hmm.
through the universe and then assumingly fell on his rock or whatever.
Yeah, because I
But
think,
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, I think this could also just be a really cool way to, to flesh out some of the Thanos stuff. Now that we're done with, the Infinity Saga, we could get the
Yeah,
sneaky, like, now, by the way, you were probably wondering, this thing or that thing, or like, I could see this being a big, like, looking at the villain side of things, but on a very small scale perspective. Because now he doesn't have an army, he doesn't have the help of Asgard, he doesn't have Thanos' help. All he really has is an Infinity Stone, which also makes him a big target. But it's the one Infinity
yeah,
Stone that can also let him escape at any point.
yeah, yeah. Definitely a good point. Is there like consequences to using the Tesseract too much? Like,
True.
I doubt it, but like there could be something like that to give it like a bit of
Hmm.
a nerf or just that way he can't just use it to skedaddle whenever he wants.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense because he's also like, he is a frost giant. So I imagine they could do a big, like, his body is extremely strong, and so like he can handle the side effects more than the average person. But it's still very deleterious because we
Yeah.
brought it up with, like, the Power Stone of, if you try to use that thing, it will just, straight up kill you. And with the others,
Hmm.
it's all been like, they're all in different things or being tapped in certain ways. We also have like two, like supers that were given powers by the Tesseract, and one of them is Captain Marvel, who is unbelievably strong.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's no like place specifically that I think he would go. Maybe like Sakaar, but I don't know.
Mm.
Like he might not know about it, but like he might just end up there because he's lost.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good point. I could definitely see that.
It's so interesting that you say like this is the 2012 Loki. This is like pre everything that happened after Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
This is just Thor 1 and Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Not even Thor 2 or anything further than that.
Yeah, it is such a divergence.
So it's going to be interesting to see him go through all that character development again.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Loki gets better and worse as it goes on too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just by nature of like where we are right now, he's about on equal footing of Thor, if maybe a little bit worse. Like,
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely more of an asshole, but like Thor's also killed hundreds of people and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
So they're both on the same situation there, and he's not that much of an asshole in like Thor 1. It's really just like Avengers where he becomes like the big villain, and like
Yeah.
that's probably again because of the Mind Stone that was in the scepter and everything, like bringing that out of him as we saw in Avengers. So now without the staff, like, and without like everything he did that was way more assholish in like Thor 2 or Ragnarok and so on. And again, he also becomes better, but he also becomes more of an asshole at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's going to be very interesting seeing how he ends up. Is he going to come back into the main timeline somehow, or is this going to be its own pocket show, basically?
Yeah, I can't imagine that's going to be the case. Like, I think the only thing that might be a pocket thing is, what if? But with
Fair,
this,
yeah.
like, there's got to be something. But I think it would also be, I mean, they can do anything. Like, I feel like it's on a base level. It feels cheap to have a Loki in another universe who, becomes maybe a good guy or, just goes through a lot of development and then comes back to the mainline MCU and is like, hey, it's me, Loki. I'm here now. I'm just going to hang out.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it would be weird.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't even have any of the memories of when Thor started to trust him more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of hope it is kind of pocket showy because I would like this to be a very heavy what if. Like, I would imagine they did this first, like in like development and everything like that before anything was announced. I would imagine like they were coming up with the idea for this, and they also went, why don't we also just do what ifs? Because like that would be interesting. I mean, it could be completely separate, but like. Something I would always want out of a what if is a much longer thing rather than just like a one-off quick little thing, because like they're interesting, but they're about as interesting as somebody just telling you it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know anything about the what if show, but like for the what if comics, like they're very interesting to me and I really want to read them when I eventually get to them. But they're also, it seems like they're going to be as interesting to read as they would be just somebody telling me what happened in the issue.
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of wide scale effects. It's a very like, what if this happened, and then it just caused this one thing to change, or whatever. But I like the idea of a whole show we're getting as a what if of like, what if Loki got away with the Tesseract in the 2012 world, and then like what occasionally cutting to Earth, or like him coming back to Earth with a bigger army and actually taking it over, or whatever. I'm fine with either one, but I would really hope actually that it is a long what if that maybe will come back in the main continuity, but I hope this does have its own what ifness to it.
Sure. Because I like the two drawbacks of what ifs I'd say is you nailed the first one of it's just a very small thing. The other one, which I actually feel even weirder about, are the very wide scale giant ones. Because fundamentally, a what if is just one volume, or sorry, one like issue.
One issue.
Sometimes they'll go back to it, but they rarely ever do a like, this is going to be a two-parter what if. Usually it is just, here is one issue. And so if they're going to do a big like, if Peter Parker, became the Hulk instead of Spider-Man, then that would cause a ripple effect that would cause like, the greatest beings in the galaxy to all kill each other or something. Like, they only have so much time to do that. And like, What if comic
Yeah.
can be pretty dense, but you gotta skip by something. And like these shows have been so incredibly good at the denseness and at the doing character stuff and really just like giving us time to sit with these characters that we rarely touch on. Like
Yeah.
the What If episodes, I think, are going to feel a lot like the movies, because the movies are also very like we need to do a bunch of stuff in this relatively short period.
And the what ifs are also relatively short as well. Yeah, I would totally be down for a much longer version of that. But yeah, I have no real expectations about like what exactly this is going to be or what he's going to do with it. There's no like, oh, I want to see this or I want to see that or anything really.
Yeah.
I think this is the one I'm the most blind on. I have truly no idea what the fuck this show is about.
Same. Like, I've been really ducking my head. Like, with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I just wasn't seeing anyone talk about it. With Loki, I saw, like, I could tell people were talking about it a lot, but I was really, really trying not to look at anything. So yeah, very, very excited to see what the heck this is going to be.
So yeah, I guess let's just get into it. Should we look up the first episode's name, or should we just go into it?
Let's just go into it. I'll get all the
just
episode
go into
names later.
Okay. So if you want to get the full length, check out on the Patreon below for $4 a month. If you want to see every episode to this show, go check it out on the Patreon below. Every episode should already be out on the Patreon, all the way through the finale and everything.
Damn.
So go check that out. Let's jump in. Okay, yeah, so we are going to recap this.
Makes sense.
He's probably also going to have to find somebody to get the mouth thing off him, to get his hands unbound.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder what Loki even thinks was going on there.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, once again, nobody even knows that he disappeared with the Tesseract or anything.
Yeah.
And Cap would be like, no, yeah, I fought him. So, like, and he didn't have the Tesseract.
Oh, you're right.
But I wonder if Thor is going to be a part of this too. Like, if he's going to be going around searching for him, and we'll have part of the story be about that.
I can definitely see that. Like, yeah, if anyone from the MCU besides Loki shows up in this, I imagine it's probably going to be Thor. At least, for a little bit.
But I mean, this could also be their chance to use more, young Cap and Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Who's dead. Okay, yeah, I guess he could have just teleported somewhere else on Earth. We didn't even think about
Yeah.
that. Jesus.
Well.
So I don't think he knows how to use this very well.
Yeah, I think he just hit the skedaddle button.
Well, already unbound.
Yeah, simple enough. Very simple.
Okay, never mind.
Not a thing at all. Okay.
What the fuck? Who in the world?
Appears to be a standard sequence violation.
Huh.
Variant identified. On behalf of the Time Variance Authority, I hereby arrest you for crimes against the sacred timeline.
Okay.
What?
Hands
Okay.
You're coming with us.
I'm sorry, who's us?
Why him?
Last chance variant.
What do they mean variant?
Sacred timeline.
They're so like British police. What the hell? It's gotta be some like time stunt.
Yeah. Oh,
You're now moving at 1/16 speed.
that's a cool ass effect.
But feeling all that pain in real time.
Oh,
Jeez, that mouth.
yeah.
So are they just stupid? Like, are they just like why him?
Reset the timeline.
Reset it.
Okay.
Fucking time cops.
Oh, time grenade.
It's like I assume they are supposed to be going after the Avengers in each of these timelines, but because the Avengers already skedaddled, they're just going after random people in each of these timelines that are near a stone.
I think so.
Or something.
Yeah, like they think he fucked with the stone.
Yeah. So like when they return to each of the stones to the timelines, did we just get people time arrested?
Maybe. Time powers are OP.
Oh hey.
This is evidence.
Can you at least tell me what it is?
You would know him as Pillboy.
Oh, that's Pillboy.
Sounds dumb.
These guys have to be from Marvel UK. All this technology is so British. Oh.
Hey,
What the heck?
I love how like old school it all is.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now, hang on just a minute.
Oh, kitty.
They all get a cat. Oh no, two.
This is everything you've ever said.
Time bureaucracy.
Sign this too.
Oh, this is absurd.
That fucking clock behind him.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's honestly not that many pages for everything he's ever said.
Please confirm to your knowledge that you are not a fully robotic being. We're born an organic creature and do in fact possess what many cultures would call a soul.
That's a big question.
To my knowledge, do a lot of people not know if they're robots?
Thank you for your confirmation. Please move through.
I guess that's enough.
What if I was a robot and I didn't know it?
The machine would melt you from the inside.
Okay.
Please move along.
Oh. I don't have that much trust that I'm not a robot.
Save. Take his picture.
What's that?
Your temporal aura.
What's that?
Please through the door.
I fucking love this. This fucking time bureaucracy is always the funniest shit in the world.
No.
Yeah.
The fucking posters and
Take it.
everything.
I guess when you're outside of time, you don't need to update your
There's only two
decor.
of us in here.
Take a.
I mean, they had to at some point.
Maybe one really big update.
It's very like Hogwarts, where you just pick one time and then just say, all right, nothing past this time.
Hi there. You're probably saying, this is a mistake. I shouldn't even be here. Welcome to the Time Variance
Is that Tara
Authority.
Strong?
I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job
Oh,
to
yeah,
catch
probably.
you up before
Yeah,
you
it
stand
sounds like it.
trial for your crimes. Long ago, there was a vast multiversal war.
Okay.
Countless unique timelines battled each other for supremacy, nearly resulting in the total destruction of, well, everything. But then the all-knowing timekeepers emerged, bringing peace by reorganizing the multiverse into a single timeline.
What?
The
Okay.
sacred timeline. Now the
What?
timekeepers protect and
There's one
preserve
timeline.
the proper flow of time for everyone
then how does
and
that-
everything.
How?
But
What?
sometimes people like you veer off the path the timekeepers created. We call those variants. Stepping off your path created a nexus event, which left unchecked could branch off into madness, leading to another multiversal war.
What?
But don't worry, to make sure that doesn't happen, the timekeepers created the TVA and all its incredible workers.
I love how fucking Hanna-Barbera this is.
Aw, yeah. What the fuck?
For all
Boy, I got so many questions.
Aw, yeah.
Do they not know there's other timelines, or is that just...
I mean, that feels like a big-ass propaganda for sure.
Yeah.
Ticket, sir.
That guy didn't give me a ticket. I tried to ask for one.
sir.
I tried to ask that guy for a ticket.
Sir.
Were you raising your voice with me, Buckethead?
Is that Bobby Monahan?
Thanks for visiting.
They got a lot of
the
comedy
TVA.
actors
Don't
in there.
hesitate
Yeah.
to let us know how we're doing.
Man, I don't know what is even the truth anymore.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be a big brain screw series. I can feel it.
Yeah. I'm so bad with time travel shit.
Oh boy.
The Hunter and his Minutemen responded to a routine Nexus event. It appears that when they arrived, somebody got the jump on them.
What is that stained glass?
Du säger this.
That devil Jesus?
Okay.
Who the fuck?
devil-bearing gifts.
Huh.
Now this is the kind of alternate timeline shit I love to see.
Are you guilty or not guilty, sir?
Guilty
Oh,
of
no.
being a god of mischief. Yes. Guilty of finding all this incredibly tedious. Yes. Guilty of a crime against the sacred timeline. Absolutely not. You have the wrong person.
Oh, really? And who should we have?
I suspect the Avengers. You see, I only came into possession of the Tesseract because they traveled through time. Believe me, you can smell the cologne of two Tony Stark.
Okay.
What they did was supposed to happen. You
Okay.
thinking is not.
What?
Right. Not supposed to happen. According to whom?
The timekeepers.
So is this a whatever happened timeline? But then that would mean that it was him supposed to escape.
Yeah. That's the thing. You can't do both.
What's going on?
Hang on. Everyone quiet.
Magic powers. They're no good in the TVA, Mr. Laufeyson. The court finds you guilty, and I sentence you to be reset. Next case, please.
You have no idea what I'm capable of. I think I might.
But yeah, this all seems so incredibly arbitrary.
Yeah.
Very much so like a real court.
Oh, yeah.
If you're thinking what I think you're thinking, it's a bad idea. Anything goes sideways, it's on you.
Okay. I feel like I'm always looking up to you. I like it. It's appropriate.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
I'll show you where my desk is. You can start there.
Tell us about this place.
Yeah, like, it's not just a little bureaucratic center, it's
Hmm.
a livable place as well. Where is here? Is this a physical place, or is this a pocket dimension?
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
And like, yeah, what do all these people do? Like, are they just doing time shits, or like, are they just a civilization that also does this?
I can't believe the fucking actors we're getting for these TV shows, by the way. Never anybody who I would expect.
I'm Agent Mobius, by the way.
Okay.
Well, I don't like to talk, but you do like to lie, which you just did. Because we both know you love to talk.
You were created by the Timekeepers.
Yep.
To protect the sacred timeline.
Correct.
Created.
I think he just means like the TVA, not him.
Not big on trust, are you?
There's only one person you can trust.
Yourself? I like it. Slap it on a t-shirt.
What do you want from me?
I specialize in the pursuit of dangerous variants.
Like myself.
No particularly dangerous variants. You're just a little pussycat. I got a set of questions for you. You answer them honestly, and then maybe I can give you something you want. Should you return, what are you going to do?
Claim my throne.
Why does someone with so much range just want to rule?
It wouldn't be very fun.
I would have made it easy for
I mean, he seemed to like it when he was King of Asgard.
True.
And he was good at it.
For nearly every living thing, choice breeds shame and uncertainty and regret. There's a fork in every road, yet the wrong path always taken.
I'm guessing you don't fall into that category.
The Timekeepers have built quite the circus, and I see the clowns are playing their parts to perfection.
Big metaphor guy. I love it. Makes you sound super smart.
I am smart.
I know. Okay.
Perfect casting.
Yeah.
What is this?
Sampling of your greatest hits, if I may.
Okay.
It's funny, for someone born to rule, you sure do lose a lot. Might even say it's in your nature.
That was barely
You know,
anything.
things didn't turn out so well for the last person who said that to me.
Oh yeah, Phil Coulson. Didn't the Avengers come together to literally avenge him by defeating you?
Little solace to a dead man.
Do you enjoy hurting people? Look at that smile. You are enjoying that.
I don't have to play this game. I'm a god.
Of what? Again, mischief, right?
Yeah.
I don't see anything very mischievous about this.
Yeah.
You're really good at doing awful things and then just getting away.
What can I say? I'm a mischievous scamp. I have a bomb.
Jesus. What a mischievous little scam.
See you again.
She's totally into it.
I know. You better be ready.
Oh, is he a...
I can't believe you were D.B. Cooper.
That's what that
That's
was.
what that was.
Lost a bet.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Where was the TVA when I was meddling with these affairs of men?
Well, we were right there with you, just surfing that sacred timeline.
Oh, so that had the timekeeper's seal of approval.
What makes Loki tick?
I know what this place is.
What is it?
It's an illusion. It's a cruel, elaborate trick conjured by the weak to inspire fear.
If you hadn't picked up the Tesseract, you would have been taken to a cell on Asgard. We know your whole life how it's all meant to be. Think of it as comforting.
I love this. Like, Loki is someone who believes in determinism for everyone except for himself. This should be...
Yeah.
This would be comforting if it was, for everyone except for him.
Always so perceptive about everyone but yourself.
But wouldn't this just make him more determined to not follow the quote-unquote sacred timeline?
Yeah.
You're lying. It's not true.
It is true. That's the proper flow of time, and it happens again and again and again because it's supposed to, because it has to. The TVA makes sure of it.
Where is he?
Now, why don't you tell me, do you enjoy hurting people?
I don't believe
Do
you.
you enjoy killing?
I'll kill you.
What, like you did your mother?
What does Mobius want?
Gotta catch him off guard at least once during this.
Yeah.
You weren't born to be king, Loki. You were born to cause pain and suffering and death. That's how it is. That's how it was. That's how it will be. All so that others can achieve their best versions of themselves.
It's the ultimate you gotta play the villain.
Why?
He
I
should be
take the
reset.
opposite. You think everyone should be reset. I'm getting good
We
stuff in
just
there.
lost another unit.
See, what is he trying to get?
Yeah, like it seems like he's intentionally just trying to piss off Loki, but for what reason?
I think we can finish up tomorrow and just pick it up.
Oh, did he actually take it off?
Mischievous camp.
Oh, I gotta rewatch that scene. I wonder if we could have seen him, like, pick it up.
No pruning, no resetting. You can still help us.
In what way?
Yeah.
Like, obviously trying to find this, like, devil thing, but...
Give me the Tesseract or I'll gut you like a fish, Casey.
What's a fish?
How do you not know what a fish is?
I lived my entire life behind a desk.
Oh, boy.
What difference does it make?
I want to know exactly what I'm being threatened with before I comply.
Death, Casey. Violent, painful death.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I comply. I comply.
You just have the Tesseract in the drawer. Oh my god.
What else is here?
What?
Oh.
Infinity Stones?
Jesus Christ.
I guess if they don't work here, it doesn't matter.
How do you have these?
Oh, we actually got a lot of those. Yeah, some of the guys use them as paperweights.
Such a flex. I mean, a flex they don't know they're doing.
And yeah, it really makes everything pale in comparison. And you're just like, oh, I just got a ton of them.
Yeah.
Just basically every fucking thing that we said in Endgame is just like, wasn't as important as we thought it was.
Yeah. And yeah, the fact that no one cares as he's holding the Tesseract, like, that really hammers it in. Like, he knows the Tesseract is not an illusion.
Is this the greatest power in the universe?
Oh, you almost hit me. That's so messed up.
So are the Infinity Stones magic?
Yeah, I guess it does raise the question.
I love you, my sons. Remember this place. Home.
Loki, I thought the world of you. Maybe you're not so bad after all, brother. Maybe not. Thank you.
But yeah, maybe he will return to our timeline now after all this shit.
Maybe. Of course, it's gotta get the last spoiler. Okay. Oh, damn.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I thought he was buying into it at first, but no. That just made him more willing to go against it.
Yeah, there's no way, he ends this without trying to, remove determinism from reality.
How do you like it?
Oh. Yeah, what can Mobius offer him?
I don't enjoy hurting people. I do it because it's part of the illusion. It's the cruel, elaborate trick conjured by the weak to inspire fear.
A desperate play for control.
You do know yourself.
Fugitive variant's been killing our Minutemen.
And you need the God of Mischief to help you stop them.
That's right.
Why me?
The variant we're hunting is you.
Ah.
What?
I beg your pardon?
From another timeline?
Yeah, I think it's got to be a different variant of Loki. 'Cause that actually makes more sense with the "do you enjoy hurting people?" If it is a, like, you know, I'm pretty sure this one enjoys hurting people.
Yeah.
Oil. Think some jackass found himself a time machine, came back here to get rich.
Wait, someone's out there.
God damn.
And so he's collecting those.
Yeah.
We don't get to see him.
Oh, is that it?
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Goddamn.
Interesting place to end it.
Yeah. Very abrupt.
Yeah, I definitely thought we'd at least see his face or something.
Mm-hmm.
As always, love this outro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of these shows have had great outros.
Yeah.
It's interesting this is going to be like a buddy cop thing. Like, there's, you know, we don't have like a cast of characters other than like the TVA guys who probably will stick around, but not as like a group going out and doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we might be saving the cast for, like, you know, more people in different timelines if we do that kind of thing. Seeing the Infinity Stones as paperweights is wild.
Yeah. Man, it really recontextualizes everything.
Mm-hmm.
And gives us, like, a new, like, big bad besides Thanos going forward. I mean, unless it's just all solved in this show, which I doubt it.
Probably not. Oh, it was Terrashong.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of, like, very interesting people in this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that one guy who was disintegrated was Bobby Moynihan as well, but I didn't really get to see him that much. Okay. See you guys for the discussion. Okay, so we're here for the discussion of episode 1. What was this episode's name? Let me look it up really quick.
It was Glorious Purpose.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, yeah, so Glorious Purpose, very fitting for the extreme fatalism versus determinism going on in the series.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, first episode was very, very like just reestablishing Loki's character, and like you know, he hasn't been around for a while. I mean, also just, like every time we retouch on characters, it's been so many years since they've had like a big focus, just by the nature of the MCU going on as long as it has, and everything like that.
Yeah.
So same with like WandaVision, and same with Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got to spend a lot of time each show just really hard establishing what the character is going to be in Phase 4 going forward. Especially with how lackadaisical everything is in Phase 1 through 3 with like character development and consistency and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, and there's plenty of people who just haven't seen, you know, that stuff. Like, plenty, I know, like Thor 2 and Thor 1 are probably some of the movies that people have seen the least, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone remembers what happened in Thor 2.
So it's a real quick, like, catch up on everything that happened if this is your first time as well.
Yeah. I really appreciate, you know, how they managed to, you know, cram it all in, you know, with like multiple different narrative devices. Like, you know, we have such a long period that is just Loki watching footage of the MCU.
Yeah.
It still worked for me, just because, you know, like, we are playing off of him, and we have the context of, like, you know, this is a past Loki looking at his future, looking at the fate that, you know, the universe is intending for him.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It's still like the slowest and least interesting of the first episodes we watched so far, but it's also good to get it out of the way in the first episode.
Yeah, and I think there's good interplay of, yeah, that stuff is the slowest, but also, like, this is so high, you know, like, the concepts here are so unlike anything else in the MCU, and also, they're very clearly hitting you with a big, hey, so you know this stuff that you believe about the MCU? We're just gonna contradict it really, really hard. Hey, you know how every hero, you know, throughout the entire history of the MCU has been doing stuff, and there's been the question of, like, will they succeed, will they fail? No, there's a sacred timeline. There's fatalism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't think that's true in any way at all.
I mean, yeah, I do agree with that, but that is what the characters are saying. Like,
right,
that is what the audience is being told, and so I think that is a very big pill to swallow. Like, that alone, I think, you know, it would use a lot of people's brain power up for this episode.
Fair enough, yeah. Like, yeah, I'm curious to watch reactions to the show once we finish, because I'm curious how, you know, are there people who are, like buying it fully that there is a sacred timeline? How many people are like, you know, extremely confused as to why Loki is like the variant and not any of the Avengers? Versus like, I feel like, I mean, again, I could be totally wrong, but I am standing on like there is no sacred timeline. That's all propaganda, and the like. It's just the way any bureaucratic system works, where it's entirely arbitrary. It makes no sense why Loki would be the variant. It's just arbitrary.
Yeah, like that is also my position of
the one thing that might have been like why would be that he used the Tesseract, but that's not important at all.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that there's. Sorry, last thought on that. It's like it's so interesting that there is a lot of people who break what they call the sacred timeline via Infinity Stone things, but not necessarily the Space Stone or anything. I mean, I guess that one's not a time thing anyway. But you know what I mean? Like, the Infinity Stones are very, very relevant to time shit.
Yeah. Which makes sense, like, considering in Endgame we get from the Ancient One the descriptor of, like, if you were to remove an Infinity Stone from the timeline, then, you know, that automatically creates, you know, a branch path.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, she was saying that is just a clear, like, you know, if you were to remove one altogether. But it could also just be if you screw with them too much, it also does that. But not the stuff Thanos did.
Do you think we're going to see the Ancient One here?
Maybe, because also, like, with the whole concept of variants, I think this is a good place in which, like, you know, they can definitely get, you know, like, actors, you know, from the mainline MCU to replay their roles, whether it is, like, from the main timeline or from branch timelines, but they can also fudge it a little bit if they want to do a, like, you know, here is, like, an alternate Ancient One, and then they can just cast someone else for it.
Yeah, I would really like to see, like, well, that wouldn't be how would it be an alternate Ancient One? Because it would be the Ancient One that we saw, like, in that timeline that the Avengers fucked with. And it seems like any timeline that the Avengers fucked with, somebody should be arrested, right?
You'd think so, yeah.
Because, yeah, if they're not arresting the Avengers, because they're fine with that, it's okay to time travel and fuck up the timelines, but somebody's got to take the fall.
Yeah. Because that also raises the question of, again, like, no one who was saying this understood what they were doing. But Banner, in that same scene with the Ancient One, brought up the idea of, like, yeah, we are taking the stones, but then we're going to come back to that exact same moment and return the stones. So, like, what does the TVA think about that? Like, does that count as a fix? Is that why they're not going after the Avengers? But then if so, if that's a fix, like, you know, if the... Well, I guess, no, the difference would be that, like, you know, any stone they took from that timeline would have been returned instantaneously, but the Tesseract wouldn't have, but also it didn't leave that timeline.
Yeah, I guess that is the only timeline they fucked up, because how did they get the Tesseract again when they went back again?
When they went back again, they went to the lab, to the SHIELD lab that had the Tesseract.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, so it wasn't in the 2012. Timeline.
Yeah,
I guess this is the only timeline that got fucked up.
Yeah, where, like, an Infinity Stone is now somewhere where it shouldn't be. With all the others, they disappeared and then they immediately, you know, supposedly reappeared exactly where they left them.
Yeah, that's a good point. But they did, it's not like they don't know about the Avengers fucking up that timeline specifically, because, like, they did bring up, like, yeah, we know about that, and that's fine. But because you did something that you weren't supposed to, then, we arrested you. Even though, like, like Iron Man had a heart attack. That wasn't supposed to happen. Thor revived him with a hammer. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, as you said during the reaction, Hulk is technically the one that, does something different with the Infinity Stone. Like, the Tesseract comes out because the Hulk busts out. Was that something he was supposed to do?
Yeah. Like, I mean, even if you don't want to blame the Hulk because it was like, he did, quote-unquote, like, what he was supposed to do. Assumingly, every action that he took was the exact same. It was just that the case was there at that point, so his foot hit it to move it. But, like, at the very least, Tony and Thor did stuff they weren't supposed to do.
Yeah.
As well as many other non-named characters and stuff like that. But and that is excluding that it's definitely the Avengers' fault.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But again, like, all arbitrary. It seems... I mean, it's not like they arrested Loki because they needed him for what Mobius wants him for.
Yeah. And, like, it does raise a lot of questions about how time stuff works. Like, was it okay for the Avengers to do what they did because the TVA looked forward and was like, okay, we see how the plan works out. Like, we know that they do beat Thanos, and then they get the stones and put them back. Is that why they signed off on it? Or, like, is there some level of...
Well, why not just arrest them after that time? Because they still fucked up a timeline.
I mean, we don't know if they did, is the question.
How would they not have? That's why they're arresting Loki. Because, even if they went and stole the Tesseract from the Shield lab and brought it back, that's not this timeline, or else Loki wouldn't have been able to do what he did.
Right. Like, yeah, it is the question of what they perceive to be fatalism. Like, is it just that they didn't notice that Loki was going to steal the Tesseracts?
What do you mean?
Like, if you have someone standing at a monitor and they can see the timelines and they can see, like, they can just move the screen forward and see, okay, the Avengers are going to do all this time travel stuff, but it evens out at the ends. Like, can they just, like, rubber stamp that and say, yeah, we know this is going to happen, this is legal now?
But it doesn't even out in the end. Because, I mean, we're seeing that it didn't. Like, when they brought back all the stones to where they stole them, they did not bring back the one from this timeline because they didn't have it.
Right.
If everything worked out in the end, Loki wouldn't have been arrested.
Well, the thing is, they didn't need to bring it back. Like, it never left the timeline. That is the confusing part.
But they fucked it up by causing the events to happen that weren't supposed to happen, quote unquote. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, again, stealing the Tesseract from the Shield labs and returning it to the Shield labs does not stop what they caused to happen in 2012.
Right.
That's still their fault, no matter how it all shakes out.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like...
And if it was always meant to happen, then there wouldn't be any problem here. But, like, we've seen a timeline where this didn't happen. And, I mean, just by nature of everything from this episode, we know that, like, it's not, quote-unquote, supposed to happen this way.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, like... whether, like... Like, what is the determining factor of what is and isn't supposed to happen? Like, is it a literal, like... I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what is the sacred timeline? Because we know there are...
It's their favorite timeline, it seems like. It really just seems like that. It's their favorite one.
Because we know for a fact there are at least a million other timelines. Because Doctor Strange looks at them.
Yeah.
Like, that's not him, like, simulating what's going to happen. It is him actually looking at all of the others and then seeing, okay, there is one in which, this works out. And so, like from that perspective, was he looking at the sacred timeline? Because we also don't know if the mainline timeline is the sacred timeline or not.
I guess so. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
we only know up to the 2012, or I guess no, we don't. We see a lot of it through the like things they were showing Loki.
Yeah,
but all we know is up to everything pre-time travel. Like essentially, like up to Loki's death.
Yeah, and we do know, like from what Mobius said, it happens like this over and over and over again. Like, this is not a single linear timeline in which, what happens, and then, like, you can go back, you can observe it over and over and over again, and it happens the same way every time, except for when it doesn't, and then it causes a divergence.
Yeah. And even when it happens over and over again, there must be small changes, or else why would there be a different timeline? Wouldn't it be the exact same timeline if it is the exact same thing over and over again? Isn't that just one thing?
Well, I mean, they could just be parallel. Like, they could be, you could have two different timelines that are identical. They're just side by side.
I guess so. But then why would one be sacred and the other one not be?
Yeah, as you said, I think it does have to come down to an arbitrary decision of, whoever runs the TVA decided this one is the sacred timeline.
Yeah, assumingly the three big lizards. But yeah, so many questions raised. My God, this is so confusing.
Yeah. Because up until now, I've never even considered the idea that there are now two timelines in which the Avengers win. Because, Doctor Strange does not look into the future and say, okay, we win and this is how it happens. He looks to a different timeline and says, in that one, in the, 1 in a billion one, that's, the one where we win. And so we need to do the same thing in our timeline to get there. Thus creating, two timelines where they win.
Was he looking in different timelines, or was he looking in the future? I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah. He did describe it as different timelines.
Yeah.
Because of the,
Either way, if you're looking into the future, if you're looking into more than one future, it's gotta be multiple timelines.
Yeah, it's by the very nature of it.
Yeah. But yeah, so there is another universe in which they win. I wonder how many how many universes they time traveled, and then how many times they fucked up shit.
Yeah. Because also, we know the TVA, at least from what we have seen of it, they're not making a moral judgment on, this is good or this is bad. So, we don't know what happens in, in the end game of the sacred timeline. The sacred timeline could be one where the Avengers lost, because it does seem like, the way time mostly goes is the Avengers lose, judging by looking at 1 million different timelines and seeing that of all of them, they always lose, except for the two of them.
Yeah. Very good points.
But we also know that when they do the time travel, that the TVA signed off on it. So, is the sacred timeline, in fact, the 1 in a billion shot where they use time travel in order to do all of this?
That's a good point. Yeah, so many possibilities.
Yeah, I do want to say to, anyone watching that I'm not, making a declarative statement, in case you're wondering, what am I getting at? I'm not really getting at anything. I'm kind of just, working through it in my own brain.
Yeah, we're all just theorizing and shit. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know what direction the show is even going to go. I have no idea what Loki is going to say about what Mobius wants him to do. Is he going to backstab him in the end? Is he going to just be like, well, I guess I'm going to do exactly what the Sacred Timeline wants me to do? Is he going to try and fight against it and be different? Is he going to try and, this time I'll be a better person instead of letting all that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know what direction they could go in. And, I don't know what our, big... we have the TVA as our, big bad organization, but is our number one big bad going to be the Loki that we're after, the second variant Loki, the Devil Jesus Loki? Is it going to be a specific person, like a head of the TVA, or are the three lizards still alive? Is it going to be Mobius? I have no idea what it could be.
Yeah. I will stake my claim as saying that, like, Loki is, a god of mischief. He is, in some variants, a god of evil or of chaos or stories. I feel like, we're definitely going to do a big, the fatalism versus determinism thing. And, as we said in the reaction, I do love, the situation Loki is in that, as we have heard from him over the course of the whole MCU, he is someone who, who does think the world would be better off if everyone else, had a fate, if everyone else, were slaves, essentially.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it for him, which is the horrifying, cosmic part of this. But for everyone else, he has, like, repeatedly espoused, like, yeah, it's fine. And the TVA does seem to be, like, outside of time in a sense. Otherwise, otherwise, I feel like Mobius would just be able to, do the big fast forward and go like, okay, so let's just fast forward to the part where we win, and then we'll see who that Loki is, and then we'll backtrack and go like, okay, so I'm pretty sure it's this guy, and this is how we beat him. So we're just gonna do that.
Yeah, the way time works in this is very funky.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how it works? Because you can rewind time inside the no time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like, we truly don't know if this is no time or if it is just like there's just a timeline, there's just like, a planet out there with some really strong dudes who are like, all right, we're the three lizards, we're gonna just make a planet where we decide what time is for, the multiverse.
Yeah. And like, yeah, they're just like, man, I don't know how to put it, like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird in a way that I understand, but it's hard to talk about their, like, motivations or anything, because I doubt there's any motivations. It's just been this way for so long. I mean, it's a very good place.
Yeah.
Which is also so weird that they got Eugene Cordero when it's clearly them, being very inspired by Good Place.
Hmm.
But yeah. I think that's like also like I might have even had like a much higher reaction to all this stuff if we hadn't seen The Good Place, because it has a lot of that same vibe to it. So I feel like we have a kind of idea about like why they're acting the way they are or doing things they are, because it's just like, yeah, it's the classic, like, this is just the way the system has been for forever, and now everybody just kind of goes along with that and doesn't even question it. But, like, how do we fix this in any way? What is our end game here?
Can it be fixed? Because, like, I
it
imagine...
certainly be fixed, but how?
Yeah, because I imagine someone like Loki would, might decide, okay, you know what, TVA is bad, everyone should be free. But then, if you have infinite freedom, then, inevitably you have, the super ultra evil timeline where you create a big bad guy who then attacks all the other timelines. Like,
I mean, we kind of already did that. That kind of already happened, and they didn't care. With, like, Thanos and stuff. That was literally what he said he was going to do.
Did he?
Yeah,
no, he said he was going to attack one timeline, the one he was in.
I'm talking about the second Thanos.
Yeah, even he said he was just going to, like, reduce the world, the universe to atoms.
Did he? 1 second, I want to go back and watch that scene real quick.
Sure.
Okay, so we just rewatched that scene, and he does not say that, you're right. But I would also argue, specifically he says, like, I'm going to destroy this universe and create a new universe that has half the life in it, and, they won't know what they had lost. But, like, why wouldn't he just do that to every universe? Like, would he stay in this universe, or would he go back to his own universe? And if he went back to his own universe, wouldn't he do it to that one? And then why not just keep going?
The one thing that does come to mind is, this is a small comics thing, but I think it's relevant, is we don't know if the Infinity Stones work in other universes.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? We stole them and then used them in our universe, like the universe we see in Endgame.
I mean, those are timelines, though.
What's the difference between a timeline and a universe?
Like, all the timelines we jump through in the MCU are all still the MCU. Like, it's just, like, going, like, making little branches. But it's all still MCU, as opposed to, like, a universe, which would just be fundamentally different.
And what do you mean? What's the difference between a timeline and a universe? Because, like, even he says, like, like, he's calling his timeline a different universe.
I mean, is he?
I mean, let's rewatch the scene. So, he's either saying, like, when he says, I'm going to destroy this universe and create a new universe, that either means that he is going to destroy every single timeline in this universe, if you are saying the timeline is greater than the universe, or that the universe is greater than the timelines, I mean. So he's either saying, I'm going to destroy all timelines and then recreate all timelines in my own image, which is what we were just talking about, or he's calling a universe a timeline.
Yeah, I took it the second way. I took it as, like, he is here in this timeline now, and he is just saying, I'm just going to destroy, everything here.
Right.
Like, just, all of existence here. And
that's
then
what also I was saying.
No, you said he was going to then move on to different timelines.
No, I'm saying, the reason we just rewatched the clip was because I was just saying, he says, he calls a timeline a universe, and you said, did he? And then we rewatched the clip.
Okay, yeah.
So, even Thanos is saying that a timeline is a universe, and a universe is a timeline.
Yeah, I agree with you now.
So there is no difference between a universe and a timeline. Are we agreed on that?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, what is to stop him?
I mean, just the question of whether he... no, you're right. I mean, I guess the question is just then, like... I mean... Yeah, I guess why wouldn't he?
Like, if he believes that, doing this is helping, why would he not do it to every timeline, every universe?
I mean, I would just put that down to a character thing, because we know what he wanted to do after he, saved the universe, which is he wanted to go to a farm.
Yeah, but that was before he knew time travel was possible and different timelines are possible.
I mean, yeah, but even then, if he snaps, he then destroys himself. Like, we know that'll happen.
What do you mean?
Like, remember when he was all fucked up after he did the snap and won? Like, if he then goes to another universe, like, he's still all fucked up.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, couldn't he just do one snap that does that? Like, if he knows about it. He wouldn't have known about it before, so he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I guess we don't
but
know.
Either way, the whole thing was, like, do the Infinity Stones work in other universes? And yes, they do.
Yeah. No, you're right. If different universes and timelines are the same thing, then they do.
Right. But yeah, so maybe he wouldn't have been able to do it. I mean, he could have at least done it a second time. But yeah, so maybe that's not quite possible. But then that also, there can't. It's either he could do it and it's already been possible, and the TVA has been fine with that because there's been a million universes in which that has basically. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been a million universes in which it has happened, but assumingly there are other timelines where he knew about time travel and different universes and timelines, and the Avengers weren't able to stop him because even after all of that, Tony had to be the one with the glove to snap. That was the only way it was going to work and all that. So, assumingly Doctor Strange saw other timelines where Tony didn't do the snap and Thanos won.
Yeah.
Or it's not possible for one big bad to take over all the timelines. So, I guess that's where I'm standing on it.
Okay.
Is that either they're fine with it or it's not possible.
See, I imagine they would just prune any Thanoses that would do that.
I suppose. But then why wouldn't they prune the Avengers for doing it?
I mean, that's the big question. That's the one where I don't have an answer. But
yeah. I guess, like, the point of where we were starting with all this was, how do you stop the TVA? Like, how do you make people free to have determinism without, bad stuff happening? And my argument for that would be, bad stuff's already happening and they're not doing anything about it.
True. Because also, this is less of a bad stuff happening and more of a, like, Doctor Strange-esque, we stop, like, we protect the stability of time, or, we protect, like, other dimensions, like, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, like, like, just from this episode, we know they don't care about bad things happening. They care about, like, variants.
Right. But I'm saying that's already happened and they're doing nothing about it. Like, I mean, just by nature of them arresting Loki, it's already established that they're not, like, they're not doing what they should be doing.
Yeah, like, they're not infallible. They are fucking up.
They are fucking up and it's not an accident.
Yeah, like, that is just the way the system is made.
Yeah. Like, even going to the beginning of this episode, like, if Captain America, or not Captain America, if Tony Stark having the heart attack thing, and Thor reviving with the hammer, that didn't happen in the quote-unquote sacred timeline. But that's okay by their rules, because in the end, everything still kind of happens as it was supposed to. Why not just give Loki back to the Avengers then?
I mean, there's also the added layer of we don't know why they bring in variants. Because, like, we see the reset, which, I mean, we don't know what the reset is necessarily, but I took it as just they erase the timeline.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like, why would you bring in variants in the first place? Like, if you're going to just erase them anyways.
I don't think it's erasing the timeline. I think it's, like, resetting that timeline back to where they want it to be.
But even then, like, if you can reset, like, whatever the wrong things were, if you can, like, like, put down a grenade and then shift it so that, there is no point in which Loki could have gotten the Tesseract. And then why not just do that? Yeah, because if it is an actual reset, like a going back reset, then you would uncrime Loki by doing that. Like, he would have no longer have, committed a divergence. He would no longer be a variant. He would just be doing the original thing. Like, what benefit can be created besides, what Mobius wants? Like, what he wants is separate. But what benefit is there to bringing in someone like that and, revealing that there is a whole TVA and then, like, bringing them to court? Like, what else can be done besides, that reset?
Yeah, like, what is the purpose of any of it? But yeah, I think we have discussed this as much as we can from the information we have in episode 1. We're just going to keep circling around the same stuff of it doesn't really make sense and they're not doing their jobs.
Yeah, which is fully intentional, so...
Yeah. So, other stuff from the episode. Well, I mean, one, it is very important that we don't see the reset thing. So we don't see how it works. That's definitely very intentional. The devil Jesus Loki is collecting them, so we don't really know exactly what they can do or anything like that.
Yeah. We know we know whoever is doing this also, like, it gave the kid, some candy to distract her and, like, maybe moved her between timelines depending on how that works. I think she just, gave him the thing to distract her.
Yeah.
So, like, not a kid killer.
No. I mean, it seems like not killing anybody but the Minutemen, which is perfect name.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know what to think about, any of that, because, like, I'm definitely on his side right now, Devil Jesus Loki. And, like, why is he a variant? What happened? What changed in his timeline? And, like, yeah, he's going through timelines that are very different to our own.
Yeah. like, is this the Loki that wins? Like, is that what we're gonna go for? The, like, Loki's generally kind of just suck, and is, like, he exists in order to, like, allow there to be heroes. But then this is the Loki who was like, no, actually, no, I'm just gonna actually win this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that it could be, and like, I think episode 2 is probably going to give us more information to talk a lot more about this timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah. I do think it's very interesting that, like, with all the information we're getting, we did devote a whole ass, bit of time to, a example of Loki committing mischief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, him getting the plane, then, having Heimdall teleport him.
Yeah.
Like,
what
that
was the
plus,
bet? What was the bet that you couldn't do that? Because he said, I lost a bet with Thor, what was I supposed to do? Well, I guess that's not even, like, the bet wasn't even that. So, like, he lost a bet, and then that.
Maybe it was that he was going to get away, like, without Heimdall catching him.
Well, no, because he did say, like, Brother Heimdall, I hope you're ready. Because otherwise he would have just fell to his death.
Yeah, you're right. What was the plan? Maybe it was maybe Thor was maybe Loki was betting that the humans were going to be able to figure out how he did it on some degree, and Thor was like, no, they'll never figure this one out.
But he did say he lost a bet with Thor, so what else was he supposed to do?
Yeah, so I guess it would have to be like, Thor who believed.
Like there was something that, like, there was a bet that happened, and then after Loki lost that bet, this happened.
Oh, that's how you read it. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Like, he says, I was young and I lost a bet to Thor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
So, like, it had to have been he lost a bet, and then the like, if you lose, then you have to do this? I don't know.
I think so.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it is still reestablishing that Thor is exactly the same as Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was also involved in that. He's also a mischievous scamp. He also, like, Thor is primarily known for doing awful, awful shit and just getting away with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of my favorite, Thor talks is, the bit where he was, describing how Loki turned into a snake, and then, when he picked him up, he bit him. And he said that as a very clear, like, I thought that was really funny. That was awesome.
Yeah. We also, just the aesthetic of this series is fantastic. I feel like we didn't talk about that, very much. We talked about it plenty in the reaction, but yeah, the aesthetic is just wild.
Yeah. Also, if it hasn't been obvious, I should establish that I don't know anything about the TVA, but just based on the aesthetic and the way it's all cast, and especially, like, the heavy, like, emphasis on comedy, but, like, a very dry, very bureaucratic comedy, this has to be some fucking UK shit.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because it also, like, it stinks of that, like, Marvel UK did a lot of stuff where it was like, we don't have mainline connections to, like, the guys in New York, so we can't, like, do stuff that's super tied in, but we will do stuff that is unbelievably important to the entire universe without telling anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And the TVA gives me that appeal so much. Like, it has that feeling of, yes, everything that happened in the MCU up to this point is important, but also here's this thing that is equally, if not way more important, that we're just telling you about right now. That is the most UK thing in the universe to me.
Fully. And yeah, like, how much are we gonna learn about the three ancient timekeepers? Loki called them lizards. I don't really know if they're actually lizards. They don't really look like lizards in any way. I just been calling them lizards because Loki said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's up with them? Like, what did they actually do?
Yeah. Because this truly does have that big feeling of, like, who gets to decide, what the state of the universe is? Three lizards.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they did it. Did they do it first? Probably not, but they have time travel, so also yes.
Yeah. but yeah, it's a very good, like, man, there's propaganda everywhere, and just with the like nature of the like fucking Hanna-Barbera cartoon and all that, it's like it's so extremely obvious that you're being lied to, but in what way? Who fucking knows? Because it's all so damn complicated.
Yeah. I think it's such a perfect thing to do for a main character whose whole thing is he tricks people and lies. To have it be like, he tricks people and lies, but also he's very much like a free agent. And to have, the big oppressive thing of the series be, this giant, authority figure that is even bigger and lies so much bigger and, messes with you in such a bigger way. Like, Loki says this is all an illusion, and, he was wrong in the sense that this isn't literally, like magic being cast on your eyeballs to make it not real. But that doesn't mean this isn't all an illusion.
Yeah, it is fully an illusion, just in a much different way.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, the whole first, like, 10 minutes were just, like, insane. Just, what insane first 10 minutes.
It was all just processing. It's all just like, what the fuck is this now? Truly, not at all what I thought we were going to get from the series, and I'm so much more excited.
Yeah, man, okay. Do we want to, like, is there anything else you want to talk about in the episode that happened?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but, so I guess I just want to say, like, do we want to make our final predictions, trying to, like, do a prediction in the first episode of, like, where are we going to end off on this? What's going to be, like, how we end this? Is the TVA still going to be around? Are we going to fight the devil Loki? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I don't think so, but I can't imagine this being the case, especially with how much little time we have, but I will throw out the big, like, by the end of this, there will be no more TVA.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair one.
I'm not confident in it, but I want to have a strong guess.
Do I think there's still going to be a TVA at the end of this one? To make it interesting, I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Well, expand upon that then. Like, I think Loki's going to fully dismantle the TVA. There will be no more. Like, every timeline will have their own free agents, and that does mean, like, yeah, some shit might get fucked up, but also some shit's already getting fucked up. And it's just like, it's on people to stop that.
Okay. See, I think it's going to be... Yeah, I'm going to go for the big swing here. Because we set up in this episode that, Loki doesn't have an endgame that really, really works. In the sense that, like, it's all going to be somewhat small scale, but also he can't be satisfied with something small scale. So I think he is going to become king of the TVA. And so, like, I do agree with you that he is going to, there isn't going to be a sacred timeline anymore. The timelines will be, as they are. But, like, he will realize over the course of the series that there is no possible way to stand, there's no way to have truly, truly, truly free will, even, if there is no TVA, because there's still a timeline. Like, the moment that there is a second that you move forward in time, that, your past has been written in stone, that is fatalism in its own sense. And so, like, I think he's going to have the big, like, I cannot be constrained by that. I need to be someone where if I, wake up in the morning and I have scrambled eggs and I regret that, I want to be able to say, no, I didn't. I had French toast. And then he can just make it so. Like, him being able to use the, like, resetter thing to just move himself backwards felt so incredibly Loki to me. In a way beyond, like, just like, casting illusions and shit. So I think he's going to be king of the TVA. The TVA is going to pull back and no longer, like, restrict all the timelines. The timelines will be as they are. That's going to cause a lot of problems. That's going to cause a lot of, new heroes to come forth that would never have existed. And, like, the TVA will be there to do what Loki wants.
Right.
Like, whether it is, like, the lizards, start a new organization and he fights them, or whether it is a, like, he turns out to not really like evil devil Loki and he wants to, like, stop that. Even if it's something where he's like, I'm just going to get rid of all the timelines where I fucked up.
Yeah. Like, now that I think about it, we kind of, and this is metagaming a little bit, but, like, we have to whether it's dismantled or Loki is the king or whatever, like the King of Time is definitely a big title that would suit him. He
yeah.
would like.
Loki, King of Time.
But like, we have to do that. Otherwise, like, how the fuck are we gonna do Multiverse of Madness or No Way Home with like, you know, like the TVA just having to show up and shut it down?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but you are completely right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Those are two good guesses. We'll see you guys for the second episode, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, one last thing before we go. I was just looking through some of like the documents that we got and stuff like that to see if we got any more information. I love that it does have for Loki sex fluid. He is fluid gender. Hell yeah, we got it, baby. I wish it wasn't on just a little piece of paper, but also it's not something Loki would like say by nature his character.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad we got that.
Good catch.
Yeah, I was just looking through the papers and I was like, oh shit, hey.
Cool.
Alright, that's it. Now we're going. Bye bye. Get the fuck out of here.